Hey kids, welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 1, Variables, Exercise number 1. This is one of those Guess What Happens programs. Let's go dive into the code and try to figure out what we should be writing in this box. We have a public class myConsole. That's the same name as my file type, so this is my main class here. We have our main method here. And within the main method, we have a int, my integer equals 125, double, my double equals 89.3, boolean, my boolean, that equals true, string, my string equal hello world, string, my other string equal new string, welcome to Java. Down here, we have a bunch of system.out.println. That means it's going to print on a new line. It looks like inside these quotes, it's going to print out literally my integer plus my integer. It looks like it's calling up here. Same thing with my double, my boolean, my string, and my other string. Before we really start off here, we should really talk about the two types of variables that there are in Java. And those can be classified into primitive and reference variables. From a programmer's perspective, a primitive variable's information is stored as the value of that variable, whereas a reference variable holds a reference to the information related to that variable. And that just means going back to Unit 1, Lesson 2, when I talked about how all programming really is how are we allocating and moving around memory. Well, this is really the first actual example of that. Now, you're not going to need to know this for the AP CSA exam, but there's really two types of ways that we hold this memory, and we're going to talk about this a little as we move through this entire lesson, and that is of stacked memory versus heap memory. Stacked memory is just the references, is really just the information stacked one on top of each other, and the information is dealt just like that within the computer memory. The other is heap memory, and this is kind of just how the name sounds. It's kind of heaped together with different references at different points. So it's kind of a movable memory or dynamic memory. Again, do you need to know any of this for the exam? No, but it really helps in understanding this lesson. A primitive variable, an example of that would be int, my integer, equals 125. Int stands for integer, and this is just declaring whole numbers. This variable is just referencing 125. Double, same thing. This is decimal numbers, 89.3. Boolean, we've worked with that before. That is just true or false one way or the other. The other type of variable is this called a reference variable, and that's what strings are. And again, this is going to help us understand how we can declare it in two different ways. String, my string, hello world. Well, my string isn't pointing towards hello world. It's pointing to a location in memory that has that stored. And the difference again, my integer is equal to 125 inside the computer memory. Inside the computer memory here, it says my string equal to, and then it'll give a location. And then if I look at that location, it would say hello world. Now, another little neat thing we get here with string is it's a special data type. When we create a string, we're actually creating an object that is an instance of the string class, which represents a collection of characters. That means we can also create a string object using the new keyword. And all this just means is string is actually its own class, and we're creating an instance of objects when we create words or strings. And that means we can declare it two ways. Either here is declaring the data type variable name equal to whatever we're trying to store. We can also do string, since it's the string class, our variable name equal new, and then reference to the class again with whatever we want to print out. Pretty neat, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to use this to do some pretty fun things with Java down the road. Back to what I should write in my box. What do I think this program does? Well, I think it prints off these 5 things from above, these variables. And since it's an integer and it's a whole number, it's going to print off my integer is 125. And then it's going to print off my double is 89.3 because a double is a decimal. Then it's going to print off my Boolean, and it's going to be true because that's what it's set to. My string is going to print off hello world. And since we can create a string 2 different ways as an object, it's also going to print off welcome to Java. Well, let's see if I'm right, kids. And there you go. It printed off exactly what I thought it would print off. Key takeaways. Key takeaways from this lesson, kids, is a couple of things. One is the idea of our 2 different type of variables that we are going to use in Java. The first is going to be a primitive type. Those are going to be int doubles and booleans. And then we are going to have our reference types, and those are going to be our strings. How do we declare a variable? Well, we declare it by its data type, then whatever the variable name is, and then we set it equal to whatever we're storing. We also talked a little bit about dynamic or heap memory versus stack memory. And the easiest way to think of it, like this graphic here, is just how the information is put together. Hopefully this video helped you understand what data types are a little better. As always, kids, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.